All right, so confidence is what we need to talk about today. Confidence. So the first thing is if I just tell you to start walking a certain way, fix your posture, deal with people with eye contact. That's the usual traits for having confidence, right? But soon by time you will realize that it kind of contradicts your nature to act that way if you don't truly believe it. If you start acting that way without you believing it is inside you, then this leads to something called an imposter syndrome. So, what is the imposter syndrome? Imposter syndrome is when you have a feeling of self doubt when looking at self doubt in your skills or your intellect, when you compare yourself to other high achieving individuals. So you can see that imposter syndrome stems from self doubt. So to have confidence, you need to totally believe in yourself inside. So that is why I say that confidence is internal more than it is external. So, how are we going to build confidence internally? Okay. So, first thing, obviously, when we talk about self-doubt, the first thing that comes to mind is comparing yourself to others. So, I'm not going to tell you to not compare yourself at all because sometimes comparison can be healthy. So, there are two types of comparison, healthy and unhealthy. What is healthy comparison? Okay, so when I look at a person and then I start thinking, oh, this person is nice, this person is capable, and then I start thinking to myself, how can I be like this person? How do I become a person that is equal to him in what exactly I do like about him? That is healthy. I'm seeing the traits that he has and I apply to my life. So that is healthy comparison. Unhealthy comparison is when I look at that person, right? When I look at that person and I say, "Oh wow, the certain trait is super powerful and it's super nice. I can never be like that." There. When you take comparison and then you make a person better than you and making yourself lower, then that becomes unhealthy. Let's have an analogy, okay? So we have this is me in school, right? This is me in school, and we have Bob. This is Bob, and Bob is a pretty nice guy. He talks to a lot of people, and he's very interactive, social, while me, I am an introvert. When I see Bob acting this way, I have two trains of thought that I could take. First of all, I can think that, oh wow, Bob is a very social person. I really like that about him. How does he become social? Maybe what he does is that when he talks to people, he just says good morning. He just talks to anyone, even people that he doesn't know. He just says good morning to them to start a conversation. Whereas I probably do not do that, and I see that as a good habit to become a more social person. So I keep seeing how Bob acts, and I take three traits and then I use these three traits to start implementing them into my life. That is healthy comparison. And then we have another train of thought is wow, Bob is very, very social. I can never be like Bob because his powers or his capabilities far outweigh mine. So, what I think of in the end is that Bob is better than me. This is wrong. This is unhealthy. Okay? So, there's a simple way to think about it, okay? We want, here's a quote that is very nice when dealing with this, is that there's no comparison between the sun and the moon. They shine when it's their time. So even if Bob is currently better than me, that doesn't mean that I'm a bad person per se. That means that I still have to develop more to reach that level that I'm satisfied with. So that is how you do healthy comparison. Okay, so that is comparison done. And and how does comparison relate to confidence? Let's go back. The way you see yourself in civilization, it takes a toll on how others see you as well. If you see yourself in a negative light, then others will not see you in a positive light. So when you do unhealthy comparison, then you will see yourself negatively, which makes society see you in a not positive way, which affects your confidence. This ties us to our next point, which is self worth. We need to have good self worth. How do we do that? There are many reasons why people don't feel good about themselves. It's either that they're a perfectionist, or that they lack patience toward themselves, or they have unrealistic standards or unrealistic expectations of themselves, which makes them think less. But the I can go on and on about reasons why you might not think good about yourself, but a more important thing to do is tell you an exercise on how to think better of yourself. So you guys know the scenario where we wake up, we're on our bed, and we say, I'm going to do a certain task. I'm going to solve 5 chapters today. I'm going to learn 5 chapters. But then as the day passes, I get distracted, I procrastinate, I get lazy, and I don't commit to that task. So what happens then? What happens then is that I do not take myself seriously if I keep making empty promises. If I keep making promises to myself, I will do X and I'll do Y and Z, and I never do it, then I don't take myself seriously anymore. It's a subconscious thing. You will not take yourself seriously, uh, therefore you will not think highly of yourself. So a good exercise to do is to start small. If you say you're going to solve 1 chapter today, then actually commit to doing so. If you say I'm going to do 10 push-ups today, try your best to fulfill that goal and work towards your promises. By time, what that does is that it makes you think very highly of yourself, and you become a more confident person because you think to yourself, oh, this person's committed. This person actually wants what's best for him. And this person is someone I can trust. So that kind of gets rid of all the self doubt that you might have, and you have more self worth. Okay. So by doing these two things, which is healthy comparison and thinking of yourself more highly by doing this exercise, then that will by time develop confidence. If you take these two lessons and you apply them to your life, then that means that you will you will be able to interact with society in a more positive way and in a more confident way. So before we end the lecture, we have two things to keep in mind. First of all, when people try to be confident, they probably have to do cringy stuff. So the first thing you remember to do is it is okay to do cringy stuff. If you want to develop as a person, become more confident and positive, you're gonna need to get out of your comfort zone. You need to get out of your comfort zone and go into places where you're uncomfortable so you can actually grow. This is the necessity when becoming more confident. You need to interact with people more. You need to sit with others instead of sitting with yourself. There are so many things you can do to develop that skill. So you need to do cringy stuff and do not care about what others think. In the end of the day, they're gonna forget. They're not gonna care if you embarrass yourself or if you do something weird. It doesn't matter. If you rest your head on the pillow and you're thinking, "Wow, I tried something new today, and it's helping me go towards becoming a person that I truly want to be," then that matters so much more than any opinion someone might have. Okay? The second thing you need to keep in mind is take baby steps. Don't think, oh, I want to be confident, so I'm going to dance in the middle of a class. No, you need to take it step by step. If you want to be a confident person, then start smiling more. And then the step two is greet people, just wave at them. Just wave, nothing else. And then you take it step by step towards your goal of becoming confident in your own way. And that is what leads you to reaching that spot. You don't go from 0 to 100. It needs to be steps. Okay. So yeah, that is all I have to say about being a confident person. Two things that I want to cite is that there is this amazing book called by Kamal Ravikant. This is a name of a fantastic book on how to have more self-worth. Second book, or a second source that you can go to is that there's this YouTuber called Older Brother. He has a video called Being Confident is Easy. So you can check out both these sources, which will help you more in your journey. And yes, that will be it for today.